All right, here we go. It's episode 86 of the Odd G's podcast. Jason Martinez, Harry Mays. And let me start here, Har.
Yeah.
Let's get right into it. We got a tweet 4 minutes ago from Poppy23, and he said, at Odd G's pod, at Harry Mays TU, at Jason Mert. Any Odd G's pods coming up, boys? Well, we saw that tweet. We decided, you know what? Let's do a show for
Let's
Poppy
just do
23.
one.
Yeah.
Let's just do one live. Let's do it live. Fuck it.
we're a show on demand. You tweet that you want a show, and we magically pop up minutes later.
Yeah, your notifications went off from that Twitter feed, and you texted me and said, "Hey, it's been a while since we've done one. Let's just go do one because the Sixers have made a trade. It is trade deadline day." And on the sports calendar, I don't know where that falls, but it's kind of far down the list because it's all ESPN Woj hype typically that doesn't result in anything. But the Sixers have made a move, and they acquired Buddy Hield for Marcus Morris and Furkan Korkmaz and a second-round draft pick. So basically nothing. I liked Morris in a small role here coming off the bench. Because I think he added toughness and he's a good veteran, but giving him up to get a guy that can shoot the three like Buddy Hield, see you later. We've been talking about Buddy Hield since you and I were back on the Fanatic. I mean, even correct. When Rob Ellis and I were doing a show, I think he was in the draft that year because we brought this guy on from Louisiana. I think it might have been Baton Rouge or something. And he covered I think Buddy Hield in high school, or I forget what it was.
Yeah, I remember you guys had that guy on.
Yeah, Buddy Hield went to Oklahoma to play college ball.
Correct.
But I think he was from Louisiana, somewhere where this guy had a lot of knowledge about him. And we brought him on to discuss it. And he kept on referring to him as Buddy Gild instead of Buddy Hield. Like not Buddy Guy either, the great blues musician.
Yeah.
Buddy Gild. And we played his drop for the whole rest of the year.
Wow.
I'm saying that. Sal Tunis, the Tunis still laughs at it to this day. In fact, I just got a text from him and he copied Rob in. It's funny how we never forget about this shit. It's like the listeners. 2016, that was when that was.
Wow. How old is Buddy Hield's got to be north of 30 now, no?
Well, I mean, he was a senior or junior or senior in college in 2016. That was only 8 years ago.
Yeah, that's 8 years ago. He could have been like 22. He's got to, let me look here.
Well, it was the draft that Ben Simmons was in. And this guy was telling us not to draft Ben Simmons. We should draft Buddy Gild. And
maybe he was right.
And he was right.
Yeah, he's 31, Harry.
He's 31
in December.
Okay, so he stayed in college. He might have stayed all the 3 or 4 years, which they don't do anymore. But yeah, so 40% from three. He's averaging over his career. Been with a couple of teams, 15.7 points per game. So it's a nice addition for the perimeter for the Sixers. Who knows? They might not be done. There was talk that they were looking at Bojan Bogdanovic and maybe a backup big man. Because of this whole Embiid situation, which I got to tell you, last Sunday night, I went to bed at 8:30. Okay, I was watching the golf. I was shot. And I wake up in the morning because I wanted to get up to watch the golf, which I thought was going to finish on Monday because they had all this awful weather on the West Coast and canceled the Sunday round. Turns out at 9:45, they canceled the tournament period. So it reverted back to who was winning after 3 rounds to win. And I'm like, I got all this fantasy, all these bets and all this shit. I'm like, are you kidding me? No golf. And then I see Embiid is out and he's having surgery. Like it was in essence going to have surgery on his meniscus or something, right?
The flap.
After he had the injured knee, and then he had the guy fall on him in the Golden State game. It looked awful. It looked like it was hyperextended or whatever. It looked painful. And so now he's out, 6 to 8 weeks. They hope for him to come back. I looked where in 6 to 8 weeks is. It's going to bring you right up to about 7 to 10 games left in the regular season.
Yeah, April, they were basically right.
Well, yeah, I would figure they'd bring him back at home. And the home games, Wednesday, March to 27th at home against the Clippers. That would be interesting because the Clippers are the hottest team in basketball right now with James Harden too. Or Tuesday, April 2nd, they host Oklahoma City, who's the #1 team right now in the West. I would think maybe one of those games, but either way, it would be 7 or 10 games left in the regular season, which they'd use to maybe ramp him up for the playoffs, because he's going to get out of shape. We all know this. This happens, it seems like every year, where he gets hurt and then he gets out of shape, and then the playoffs start and he's out of gas. Like, he can't just give you what he is giving you. And he was on record for an unbelievable season. It's such a shame. This guy was on fire.
Yeah. And the thing is, when he comes back, what's going to be sustainable?
Right.
Can he play a lot of minutes? Is this surgery going to repair? But is there going to be a period of time of a weakened knee? Like you said, he's already going to be out of shape, out of basketball shape,
probably
running the floor and the whole thing. But when he comes back, is he going to be able to be as dominant as he was? Because let's face it, he's been more dominant this year than he's ever been.
I know. Yeah,
the way he was playing,
even in last year's MVP season.
Yeah. People are freaking out because now he won't be eligible for the MVP, Harry. We have to cancel that. I went to Broad Street today, as a matter of fact, for 2 reasons.
To get your share?
Well, one, to pour one out for Furkan Korkmaz. Didn't the cuz tell me he was an untouchable at one point?
He loved him at one point.
Furkan. Shoot the 3 perimeter, the whole thing. Yeah, so I had to go pour one out. I poured out a Diet Coke for Furkan this morning.
Okay.
And I had to get rid of my lawn chair that I had there for the parade.
Was it still there?
Yeah. Well, that was the parade after I left that lawn chair there, Harry, after they beat the Chinese national team and Ben shot a 3.
I think was that the last 3 he took?
The only 3 he took, Harry, and made.
Oh, God.
Besides his videos on Instagram.
Right.
With the shot guy, Drew, what was that
Drew
guy's
Hanlon, I think it was. He was like
Drew
5'10".
Yeah. Shooting 3s over me.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, I went and removed that lawn chair. It's a little rusty, Harry. Frankly.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised it's there and it survived what's going on in the city.
Wow.
It did have a couple bullet holes in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's par for the course.
Yeah, but Furkan Korkmaz, won't see him no more.
Man. The Furkan Korkmaz era has ended.
Oh, I can't wait for a tribute video for Furkan Korkmaz, Harry.
Right.
What is this, the NHL?
Oh, yeah. Right. Yes. And speaking of, we'll get to the Flyers, but this is really kind of key. The Sixers right now are 30-20, and they're 5th in the Eastern Conference. And that the top 6 don't have to play in those play-in games. Okay, 7 through 10, there's a play-in. It's extra games to get into the actual real playoffs. So there's a risk here where the Sixers fall out because they've lost 7 of their last 8 games without
Embiid.
Yeah. And Melton's hurt. Maxey missed some games. He was hurt and he was sick or something. Tobias missed a game or 2 through that stretch. But now they're only a couple games ahead of Indiana in the 6th spot. So they'd fall into that 7-10 group, which, you don't want to be in that group because then you got to play extra games.
Any extra games.
No.
The NBA is idiotic for adding this element.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you already have players sitting out.
Right.
Because there's too many damn games that don't mean a ton. And now you're going to add extra games to a league where star players are sitting. That's as tone deaf as it gets for the league. That is mid-season tournament. I mean, what are we doing here?
Well, thank goodness the Lakers were able to hang a banner because they stink right now. And there's actual rumors that LeBron might get traded today. I don't know if that's going to happen.
He was touring Malvern Prep last week, Harry.
Oh, he was? I thought it was Devon Prep that he was actually at.
No, why would he go to Devon Prep when the Malvern Prep's there, Harry?
Conflicting reports.
I remember when
you rolled that out. That was classic. My sources indicate.
Yeah. Sources indicate to me.
Oh, man.
And the funny thing.
Did you do your bro call when you did that? Was that
probably?
Yeah. Any excuse?
Yes. The NBC nightly news theme.
Yeah.
NBC nightly news.
But you mentioned those 7 to 10 spots. that might be the only way to get the Lakers into the playoffs. And they want LeBron as on TV as much as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
So is LeBron open to a trade, Harry?
I'm not sure. There was some rumor he had a New York Knicks towel and was spotted using a New York Knicks towel. So people are running with that, like he might have interest in the Knicks. I couldn't care less.
So the Knicks sent him a towel and said, "We're going to try and trade for you. Get this into one of your social media."
Right. Let Woj see it, or Stephen A. to see you with this stupid towel.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This whole thing where like people freaking out when they see something like in the background of somebody's house on an Instagram reel.
Yeah.
There's a bobblehead there
right.
of Patrick Ewing. He must be going to the Knicks, Harry.
That's right. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Now, where do you want to go? The Eagles or the Flyers?
Hold on. Let's say hello to a few people here on the stream. First of all, Joey B checking in from Colorado. Greetings.
Oh man.
For snowy Colorado.
Okay.
And Joey B also says 2 black hoodies from the suburbs today. Yeah, you got the black hoodie on today, Harry.
I got my swing it and ding it hoodie on.
Oh, so you got to send me one of those. I like merch.
Yeah.
There's merch. That's your golf podcast. You do with Jeff Moore, the Moose.
Yeah, and Danielle Matthews. Yes.
Yes. Joey said the Odd G's podcast should be on Radio Row next year. I disagree.
You disagree?
Well, where's the Super Bowl next
year? I don't know. I think, is it New Orleans next year?
Could be.
It might be.
The Odd G's pod does not have a booth because Tony Bruno loves Radio Row.
Oh, he's out there.
I know.
Yeah, he's out there.
Videos.
Yeah.
Miss Robin. Are you shooting, Miss Robin?
He had Baldy and the Cuz on the show the other day.
Anthony
Baldy was in a beautiful suit.
He was. Baldy dressed to the nines.
Oh,
right?
He looked great.
He looked like Paulie Walnuts when Chrissy was getting made, right?
Yeah.
He had the hanky, the whole thing,
right?
Right. And Anthony's in there in a Fila sweatsuit.
Right. Was it Fila? I didn't even know. I thought it might have been a Russell.
I think it was because of better style than that.
The Fila was at the cleaners.
Yeah. The only guy I know takes his sweatsuits to the dry cleaner.
It's got the plastic on the Fila hanging in the hotel room right now.
On the wire hanger.
The next Super Bowl, Super Bowl 59 is in New Orleans.
Okay. That's always a good spot, though.
Yeah.
For a Super Bowl. No question about it. But no, I don't think that we'll be there on Radio Row.
I doubt it.
Yeah, you've done Radio Row. I've done Radio Row. It's a bit of a shit show.
It's overrated. I'm glad I did it.
Guys hawking stuff.
That's all it is these these former athletes. Some of them are big time, and some of them are like, who's this guy? And they're always hawking a product, because they're looking to make some money, and that's all they want to talk about when they sit down. Like I always bring up the story of a couple years ago when it was in Atlanta, and I went down with Shander. And because it was right before we started to go on 97.3 ESPN with Mike Gill's station.
Yeah,
and we were doing the Amazing Eitan thing with Jacob, and he had us down there in an Airbnb, and then we had a Radio Row spot, and we did shows for like 3 or 4 days. And one of the days, Eitan, of course, who had 19 jobs, was doing a 2-hour show on some other network. I forget where it was. And Jerry Rice was coming on his show because Jerry Rice was making the rounds at this time. It was like in the morning, like 10 to noon or something. I think we had. And we did our show like noon to 2 or whatever. So he's doing this show, and here he's Jerry Rice is coming on today. So I walk over and I watch this whole thing happen. Jerry Rice comes off. He's carrying a bottle of cognac, Hennessy, I believe it was. And he's repping Hennessy. Sits down with all these handlers. They've always got like 4 or 5 women around them, which are the PR people, and they've got their list and they got their time, their stopwatch, because they can only spend 6 minutes here, and then they got to go down the, down the road to sit with Mike Francesa or whatever. So Rice sits down, and Eitan had all these questions he was going to ask. He was ready he was prepared, right? He asked him one question. Rice pivots to Hennessy and goes right into the spiel of the product. Yeah. Eitan tries to ask another question, pivots to Hennessy. Interview was over. He's moved on. That was it.
Yeah, what a way. We've got 5-time Super Bowl participant Jerry Rice
Greatest
here.
receiver ever, maybe the best football player ever. Some people
Yep.
put him in that category.
Yeah.
And all he wants to talk about is Hennessy.
Yeah. Let me tell you about right guard. You know, it's like, oh,
right.
God. And they're repping some products that it's just like out of nowhere.
Right. Old Spice always had guys roaming around. Yeah. Yeah.
The deodorants were
got
always
the body
there.
wash.
Yeah. We have the body spray.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm an Axe man. I like the Axe body spray. I get the whole thing. You remove the sweatsuit and you get yourself a little spray.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Holy shit. Yeah, that's exactly what those interviews are.
Wow.
I remember when Mike and I were there at the one in New York. Remember they had
you guys only went up for the day though, right?
Well, I went back and forth. Mikey Miss had a hotel.
Oh boy.
That's an outrage,
wow.
Isn't it, Harry?
Are you serious?
Yeah. There's first-class citizens, Harry, and second-class citizens. I was second. I was schlepping that train from 30th Street every day we went up. I think it was 3 days we went up there.
See, now there's where the program director should have stood up for his talent and said, listen, if we're going up there, I got no problem with it, but you're getting him a hotel room too.
Yeah.
You know, see, that never happened.
We got to find a sponsor.
I mean, you could stay in Hoboken.
Yeah.
You know,
Nahagian has a relationship with Jerry Rice, speaking of which.
Well, of course, he was on his station. He had a paid gig, I think.
Yeah.
He hired every week.
Yeah. And you know that Nahagian let me ask you a question.
Oh, yeah. Well, he loves that. Yeah. He loves that, man.
Yeah. He loves Jerry. And look, and Jerry Rice is
oh, he's great, man.
And he's actually, it seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
If he's not hawking Hennessy.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not interested in going back. Apparently, Bruno was talking about back in the day, and your name was mentioned from Radio Row, Harry. So you're there in spirit.
Well, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. This guy goes, no one's listening. He goes, take back Fanatic middays. They'll get you in. Radio Row. We'll get you. We gotta get you in. I remember when you brought that up to me. You go, you come walking back with your Clint Eastwood walking into the town to paint it red, kind of stammer that you have in the morning,
or my Dustin Johnson walk.
Yeah, up 18, right? Uh-huh. Where your attitude comes in 30 seconds before you enter, right? Cut it with a puss, and you go. Do you ever notice that Anthony always says to everybody, "We got to get you in"?
I was the one who tipped you off to that.
Yes, that was you. He's like, Bob from the Northeast is on. We got to get you in. He wanted to bring everybody into the studio.
I know. Well, on Thursday or Fridays, they would have people sitting out on the couch.
Oh yeah,
right?
Eating hers
chips,
some of the
and the Primo hoagies, and then we walk in there, and the lettuce is all over the place, and the orange dust from the chips is all in the microphone. It's a total mess.
Yeah, it smelled like a deli.
It did. It
did not smell like a studio. It smelled like a deli half the time in there. I worked in a deli, Harry, so I know that smell.
You know that smell.
Yeah, you cannot get it off your hands.
Yeah.
And but you got the Super Bowl this weekend though, Harry.
Yeah.
And Big Red goes back for a fifth time. And he's looking
for his third.
Yeah, he's looking to start to get into the conversation. I don't know how many it'll take to topple Belichick as the greatest coach of all time in the NFL. But he's starting to get into the conversation.
Well, the greatest coach of all time is Vince Lombardi, in my opinion.
Yeah, but how can you judge it? Because
the NFL, his name is on the trophy.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah.
All right. He's won 9 out of 10 playoff games.
Was he the,
Come on, stop.
This Lombardi love, we don't know how good Lombardi was. He was good. Okay.
Hey, I read the book When Pride Still Mattered. I know a little bit more about him.
Is that right, Harry?
Yeah. It's a tremendous book.
Of course, Vince Lombardi attended Fordham University.
Correct. Part of the 7 blocks of granite.
Yes. Actually played football with a friend of mine's grandfather.
Is that right?
And they were roommates. Yes. He's a legendary coach at Ridley.
Oh, wow.
Phil Marion.
Oh, Ridley's had a tremendous program for
Yep.
years.
His
Yeah.
his grandfather was the stadium's Phil Marion Stadium,
Okay.
and his dad's name is Phil Marion Jr.
Mm.
and his brother's name is Phil Marion III, and my buddy Chris Marion. His grandfather was tight with Vince Lombardi
I bet.
at
Yeah.
Fordham University. That's
Then
the only
Lombardi
reason I
went
know
on
that.
to be with the New York Football Giants. Him and Tom Landry were the coordinators for the Giants,
Correct.
and both of them. I mean, Landry's in that conversation. With the top 5, 10 coaches. I mean, you got to put Lombardi, Shula,
Belichick.
Landry, Belichick, Andy Reid,
Hank Stram, Harry?
Joe Gibbs. No, I don't put Stram in there.
Yeah, Gibbs would probably be in there, yeah.
Joe Gibbs won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks. He's in.
Yeah.
Parcells, I'd put in. I think Parcells was a tremendous football coach.
Yeah. He's in like Parcells would be a notch down.
You think?
From great coach, no doubt about it. You know, the Super Bowls with Phil Simms and Hostetler. You look back at, his career, but he's a notch down. That upper crust of Lombardi, Belichick, probably, Andy's kind of
Andy's very close to that. He gets number 3. He's an immortal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's an immortal already. I mean, the fact that he's been in 2 jobs for what now, 25 years?
Yeah. Now, he is 258, 144, and 1 lifetime. Okay. That's a 64%.
I remember that tie.
Win clip. Yes.
McNabb didn't know. Yes.
That's a 64% win clip. With the Eagles, he is 58%, .583, 130 wins, 93 losses, and that immortal tie. With Kansas City, okay, in less games, 71.5% win clip.
Wow.
128 wins. He needs 2 more wins with Kansas City to equal what he's done in Philadelphia, and it's 4 less years.
Yeah, that's incredible. He's turned into a great coach, and he was a good coach when he was here.
Yeah, double-digit wins in 10 of 11 seasons in Kansas City, and that first year he went 9-7.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he wasn't far off.
Exactly. 8 of 14 seasons with Philly. The difference is McNabb to Mahomes. I mean, that's it. He finally got the quarterback that he wanted.
That could get over the hump.
Yeah.
McNabb was a really good player. And but
did you see what Asante Samuel said about him this week?
No, I did not.
I did not know.
Asante Samuel sighting this week?
Asante has his own podcast.
Who doesn't, Harry?
Well, I know, but reading the headline here, and then I read the article. I'll give you some cuts from it, some quotes. Legendary Eagles quarterback was babied. Ex-teammate says, not held, quote unquote, accountable. So we didn't win the ring. So obviously, like we're talking about Andy Reid, it comes up with the Eagles. And Asante went in on this and said, Andy Reid would have won more Super Bowls if we were able to apply more discipline to Donovan McNabb. If we were able to hold him accountable more and not treat him like a baby, end quote.
Wow.
He went on to say that in Philadelphia, the Eagles offense would run a simple play in practice. This is right with no defense. And McNabb would often throw the ball into the dirt instead of frustration or lashing out from Reid or the coaching staff. Nothing happened. So Asante's quoted as Sarah saying that, how are we not going to execute a ball from the quarterback to the receiver without anybody out there, let alone when someone goes out there? So he approached the coach about it. He went to Reid to express his dissatisfaction. Okay. Asante, this is Reid's response, according to Asante. Asante, it's your job to discipline and reprimand any of the players on the team. That's your job. Leaders take care of that. So Asante was confused. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of times peer criticism and peer accountability is more effective than coach accountability. Because you're fine disappointing a coach from time to time.
Right.
But you don't want to disappoint the guy standing next to you that goes to war with you. Excuse me.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's your job.
You can see
I
how
gotta
that
do a better job, but that's your job.
you could see how that could sort of fracture a locker room a little
Absolutely.
bit. Where they're seeing like, what the hell's he doing? And
Yeah,
Donovan had that goofy, that sort of personality that was really kind of like
passive aggressive.
it was, but it was also sort of a deflection.
Mm-hmm.
Like where he'd just laugh things off when when inside he really wasn't laughing, but he'd give you that appearance that everything's cool. And I just always thought he was kind of a goof.
Yeah.
Personality wise.
I think he used that. I agree with you. I think he used that as a protection mechanism.
Yeah, I do.
To not have to deal with some things like when the Rush Limbaugh thing happened, I think he kind of laughed it off initially.
Oh yeah.
And he could have taken a stand, or he could, things like that, but he didn't. He was a leader, but he wasn't a guy that was willing to take on the big things.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally agree. I think that will fracture a locker room. Accountability is either for everyone or it's for no one.
Right.
And I know quarterbacks in the NFL get treated differently.
Yeah.
And they should.
Right.
But only to an extent. It can't be no accountability for that player. A quarterback in practice should still be able to get reamed out, get his ass reamed if he's practicing like shit.
Right.
And you're heading into a big game. Everybody's ratcheted up, and the quarterback's throwing it into the dirt in a defenseless situation.
With no defense. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
That I understand Asante's frustration there. Now, I imagine when Sante said these quotes, he was fucking buckled.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I
possibly
I used to do a show from Kaminsky's in Cherry Hill Monday nights during football season.
Kaminsky's?
Yeah, it was a bar there. And it would be like from 6 to 7 or 7 to 8 leading into Monday Night Football. And when I was at WIP at the time, and we would do the show. I did it the one season with a mixture of Sheldon Brown and Quentin Michael. So 1 week it was Sheldon, 1 week it was Quentin, every other week, and we went through the season.
Quentin was good on the air. Awesome. How was Sheldon on the air? I don't remember.
Better.
Was he?
I don't know about better, but they were both great.
Yeah.
I remember Sheldon because that was the year he broke out the Jason Voorhees mask. He brought it to the show.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He walked into Kaminsky's with it on. It was fantastic, right?
Yeah.
So neither of them could show up 1 week late in the season. It's in like November. So they got Asante Samuel to come.
Okay.
I'm doing the show with him. This dude came in like he just walked out of Cheech and Chong's caddy. He was so ripped, I couldn't even talk to him.
He fell out of the van with Spicoli.
Yeah, exactly. He got the Vans and he's bagging them on his head. That's my skull.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Wow.
He was ripped. I mean, eyes were. And he had some good herb. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was forewarned that would be the case.
Right. Well, how was he on the air?
He very chill.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't even know if he knows he was there.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Wow.
But there was a lot of people there because he didn't do a lot of those public things and sign.
Mm-hmm.
So we would do the show, and then at the end,
all the autograph whores. I couldn't stand those people because I did all those shows.
Helmets. Yeah.
I did the Dawkins show, and there'd be the same people lined up every week with different memorabilia that they wanted him to sign and
put on eBay.
Exactly.
Yeah, they bring up like 4 mini helmets, a couple of pictures.
Yeah. Well, that's why he would personalize it. Like he made sure to personalize because then you can't sell it.
Yeah. Then you can only sell it to a Harry.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
and frankly, there's not that many Harrys out there.
No. There's not. All right, a couple other Eagles things. I saw something the other day. I forget where I saw it, intimating that maybe just Jason Kelce isn't retiring. Did you see that?
I don't think he's going to retire, Harry.
You don't?
I just my belly tells me that he's going to come back for one more.
Wow. Because he didn't like the way it ended?
I think that's part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's obviously had a great career. He's the longest tenured athlete. He and Sean Couturier came in the same year. Longest tenured athlete. Yeah. Tenured athlete in the city. He's won a Super Bowl. He's the spiritual leader of the sports scene in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Not just the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he likes the way it ended.
Well, yeah, that may be true, but I'm not surprised that he really hasn't officially addressed it yet because he doesn't want to take all any shine off of his brother,
Yep,
who's trying to run down a Super Bowl. So, if anything, it'll probably happen on his podcast with his brother
for sure.
long after after they both get back from vacation.
Yeah, after
You know.
Kansas City beats the 49ers and the celebration of the Super Bowl is over,
Wow.
then he will address it with Travis Kelce and Taylor
Wow.
Swift, for that matter, Harry.
Well, we'll get to that, but there's another Eagles nugget, and I'm sure you saw this. It was announced this week that the Eagles will be opening their season on a Friday night
Yeah,
in
Brazil.
Sao Paulo, Brazil, where they run an F1 race, don't they?
At Interlagos, Harry,
There
which
you
means
go.
around the lake in Portuguese.
Yeah, right.
They speak down there in Brazil.
Yeah, of course,
they
in
speak
Brazil
Portuguese.
they speak Portuguese.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I know
raced with a
that.
guy down there.
I know that because of soccer, not because of F1. But yeah,
Yep.
you're right. So what do you think about that? It's a home game too.
Yeah, so they lose a game at Lincoln Financial Field.
Right.
Is it a year where they had the extra home game?
They have 9, I believe. So yes.
So they still have 8 home games at
I
Lincoln
believe
Financial
so,
Field,
yeah.
and the 9th, well,
Yeah.
it'll be the 1st. But look, that's a big ask, man. That's a big ask for Eagle fans to travel to Sao Paulo, Brazil. That's not like going to Mexico.
Right, right.
Mexico's easy.
Yeah. Well, London's pretty easy too, isn't it? I mean,
More difficult than Mexico, but easier.
mhm.
But I mean, you're going down to Sao Paulo. I mean, that's a big, big ask.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the flight time from Philadelphia to Sao Paulo?
I don't know. I went to Aruba, but that's, not even that's near Venezuela, which is on the
Yeah.
northern side of South America. But this Brazil is way down, way down there, man.
Jesus,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the flights right now, Harry.
Mhm.
It's a 13-hour flight,
Right.
$1,400 on Delta.
But you got those, mommy culos all over Brazil.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty good. You don't
Finally manicured greens down there too, Harry. They all have a Brazilian.
Yeah, I mean, you're not getting that on, in Delco or on South Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're doing a game in Europe, those are not finally manicured greens over there.
Right, which I prefer that.
furry
But
ones.
but I prefer that, but that's for another story.
Especially in Germany, Harry.
But anyway, I
rails.
mean, that's a place where a lot of people probably, haven't visited. I mean, it'd be a cool thing to sort of work in a vacation to Brazil,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's very unique, obviously.
Yeah.
I'd rather see the Eagles play in Dublin, to be honest with you. But
Dublin.
yeah, I mean, Ireland, you got all the pubs, the whole thing.
Pubs. We have
yeah.
pubs here.
Yeah, I know. But the thing about that is they're below the equator. So right now they are entering their fall into winter.
Well, yeah, their fall begins when our spring begins.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're inverted from us. So
Right.
I don't know what the weather's like in September down in Sao Paulo.
Well, it's probably too warm for you.
Well, I think Sao Paulo is pretty north in Brazil as well, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't know a ton about it. So.
I mean, you're the one who watches all this F1 crap. You don't know where it is?
I don't.
Jesus.
But I do know that a storm can come blowing. It's a huge city, by the way.
Yeah.
It's 13-hour flight to Sao Paulo. I mean, that is a haul.
Yeah. Now, they're not going to play any of the division games down there. So it would be either, let's see, Atlanta, Carolina.
So we don't know the opponent yet.
No, not yet. But Atlanta, Carolina, Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
Sao Paulo is pretty south, by the way, in Brazil. It's
Green Bay or Jacksonville. Now, who would you rather play the Jacksonville Jaguars in Sao Paulo, Harry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
frankly, either them or Atlanta. I don't want to play
Dougie
Green Bay
P. With Dougie P. Because I want to play Cleveland at home because I want some of those mooks from Cleveland to come in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you got to think of it from a marketing perspective as well. Does the NFL want Jacksonville there?
The
It's
NFL
just
wants Jacksonville anywhere but Jacksonville, it seems.
Yeah, exactly. So do they want to put them in a marquee week 1 matchup against the Eagles? Are any teeth to that?
Yeah.
If you're not going to do a division game,
Well, you're not.
then
I mean, you're not going to burn a division game down there, are
no,
you?
no.
No.
So
How about the Stillers?
No, because that's the Battle of Pennsylvania. You don't want the Battle of Pennsylvania to take place, the Keystone State Battle in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Their road schedule, their home schedule stinks outside of Pittsburgh and Green Bay. And you don't want to burn a Green Bay game. You want that at the Link, don't you?
Yeah, but that may be a game that's got a tremendous marketability. You got to think of this from the NFL standpoint, not from a Harry Mays standpoint.
Yeah.
They want 2 franchises to have cachet.
Mm-hmm.
You don't send a non-cachet franchise like the Jacksonville Jaguars down to Sao Paulo.
Well, it would be Dougie P against the Eagles.
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares?
No. In Sao Paulo, they don't. They want to create a scene down there. They're not going to sell off a bunch of Jacksonville Jaguar merch at the Sao Paulo Wawas, Harry.
Yeah, well, they're still wearing the 2023 Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles jerseys down there.
Oh yeah, the ones that
don't win.
Yeah,
they
all the hats and T-shirts, Harry. Yeah, you're right. They probably are. They also have the 2000. What year did the Eagles win the Super Bowl? 16, 17?
No,
17.
It was 17.
Season. Yeah. They have the Patriots 2017 Super Bowl T-shirts too.
Right. Yeah. Now Joey B says Eagles fans in a Brazilian jail, no bueno.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah. I wonder if they'll have a jail at the Sao Paulo Stadium.
Yeah, you gotta.
I'll tell you, Sao Paulo is really far down there, Harry.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's below Rio.
Let me see here. Let me bring up I'll bring up the map here.
Bring up the map.
Let's get to the map here. Let's go to the map. Share screen and Sao Paulo. Here we go. So, as you can see here on the map, Harry.
Yes.
Let me get rid of this on the side.
Can you enlarge?
Here is it's all the way down there. I'm not sure.
It's the
so you're coming from here all the way down to here.
Right. Oh yeah. Well then that's.
So Sao Paulo's here. It's slightly
below.
West of Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, west. Okay, so it's very close to Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably an easy flight. You could probably hit both on that flight. It's probably an easy jump right along the coast here.
Go into the Amazon.
Yeah.
You got Paraguay. Yeah, I always wanted to see Bolivia.
Or Uruguay. Yeah, right. Bolivia.
Yeah.
Can we go to Chile?
We go to Colombia, to the Medellin. Baldy loves Colombia.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
If they go down there together, and you know Anthony would want to go because he loves to travel, right?
We'll drive.
Yeah,
that's what we'll take an RV. We'll take the show on the road.
Yes,
drive right through
Central America. Wait, Guatemala.
How are you going to get across the Panama Canal, cuz?
We're going to swim on Baldy's back.
Oh God, I'm dying.
Yeah,
I'm dying.
This is totally off the rails today.
It is.
It's an outrage.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, the more I think about it, I'm kind of into it.
Yeah, I know. So am I. I kind of talked myself into it.
Yeah. Joey P goes, Mert and his wife can drive the Jeep down there.
Oh yeah, right.
Right
the
here.
new Jeep.
Yeah, drive that through the Amazon.
That would be pretty good.
I want to find somebody with a nice big plate in her lip. We're going to boat down the Amazon. There's the Medellin up there, Harry. That's in Colombia.
That's in Colombia. Yeah.
Yeah. And the
Bogota cartel.
Bogota.
Oh, yeah.
It's Bogota.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What else you want to hit? Because I got some more stuff.
Well, speaking of games at a different type of location, Stadium Series is coming up, Harry, a week from Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Flyers and the Devils coming up on, what is it, the 17th?
At MetLife?
Yes, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get all my emails about the timing and where I'm going to be for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is so. I'm trying to think how many outdoor games I've done. I did 2010 at Fenway.
Okay.
2012 at Citizens Bank Park.
Right.
That was against the Rangers.
Wasn't there one at the Link too?
Yep, they did the Stadium Series game in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field.
Okay.
In 2015, I want to say. Then they did Lincoln Financial Field in 2016 and 18.
Okay.
18 at Lincoln Financial Field when Drew scored that overtime winner in the rain.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was Simmer's last game here as a Flyer, by the way. So I guess I've only done 4. I feel like there's one more in there that I'm missing, but this will be the 5th or 6th outdoor game that I've done, and for all outdoor games, Harry, I've been right on the glass.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and
there wasn't one in Washington, was there?
No, not that the Flyers were.
Not for the Flyers. Okay.
So I will once again this time be on the glass at MetLife Stadium.
Nice.
As the Flyers will take on the Devils.
I saw the other night when I was watching the Flyers and the Panther that they showed some video of them beginning to put down the rink.
Yep, they're beginning to build it and everything. Yeah,
it's pretty amazing how they do that.
It's become like just piecing it together. They've done it so many times now that they've kind of perfected. Like they got this track. It's like going to see, Metallica. They go into a town and they set it up and then they break it down in a day. They're going to be 2 games there. Flyers are going to play the Devils. Rangers are going to play the Islanders.
Oh, wow.
Successive days. But let me ask you about this, Harry, because the pregame on Saturday entertainment is the Jonas Brothers.
Oh, my.
That's the
Really?
Is the pregame entertainment, Harry.
Jeez. Why? Nickelback wasn't available?
Good Canadian
Lord.
band, Our Lady Peace.
Oh God! Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's the I guess they're going for mass appeal. I don't know.
No,
not really into.
I'm out on all this game entertainment stuff.
Yeah,
I'm really out on it. Yeah, I don't need it. They don't need that to bring me in. Okay,
no,
they never did.
Show me a good game. That's good enough.
Yeah.
And I'll check out, and you'll pour yourself a couple airplane bottle Harry Mays pour while so and so is doing the halftime show. Who's doing the halftime show this weekend, Harry?
It's Usher.
Usher? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't he performed years ago, and wasn't he the one that pulled the nipple out of Janet Jackson, Harry?
Yeah, that was with Justin Timberlake, wasn't it?
Yeah, but was it Timberlake that pulled out the nip?
I don't know. I don't know who pulled what out.
Maybe it was, because that was a huge thing in the industry.
Well, yeah, that was a wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah. That's the official term.
That was what they said, yeah. Yeah. But I've been out on all this stuff. I couldn't care less. I don't understand. Don't ask me to explain it, why they keep saying, and maybe it is true, that these Swiftie fans that aren't football fans will be tuning in just to see the camera pan to her in the box.
Yep.
In her
I have
bright
a daughter
red
that
lipstick.
fills that category, Harry.
I mean, I just don't understand that. And are any of these people going to become football fans? I really doubt it because of this. Like all this stuff is nonsense to me. It really is.
The NFL loves it because it adds another storyline of publicity to it.
Yeah. Well, if I was on Radio Row, I'd be crushing it all week, killing it. Right?
I don't give 1/10 of one shit about it. So I don't.
I don't.
It has nothing to do with me. I don't care.
Now, speaking of Taylor Swift, Toby Keith died this week. One of my guys, 62 years old from stomach cancer, which I didn't even know he had, by the way. But apparently he was really tired in the end. Brett Favre, who's a buddy of his, he had all these buddies in the sports world, like from football to golf. He was big on the PGA Tour. He played a lot of golf with a lot of guys in pro-ams and so forth. And, everybody that kind of came in touch with this guy, loved him. And, he's responsible for bringing Taylor Swift to the music business.
Oh, was he the one that discovered her?
In Nashville. She was down there as a 15-year-old playing, and he took a liking to her and her talent and got her first record deal.
Wow.
Okay. So he's responsible for putting Taylor Swift into my purview.
Yeah.
All right. But I mean, he was always very active with the veterans, both active military and veterans and so forth, did a lot of shows for him and just was a great American. And it's sad to see him go so soon, but it's funny because Taylor Swift hasn't issued any kind of a statement, yay or nay about the passing of the guy who's largely responsible for her
Guy who
being famous.
discovered her. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She has
that's
not put
weird.
anything out on her Twitter. I just checked before the show, and I've looked online and everything, and people are all saying like, "Hey, when's the statement coming out?" Like, maybe there is none. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, did you check her Threads account, Harry?
No, I don't. I have a Threads account, and I never go on it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah. I opened it, and that was it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, good.
It's funny because Instagram always tells you like, "Hey, you got 3 more followers on Threads," hoping that you'll go over there.
Yeah.
Because obviously nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
And it's struggling. So I see like, oh, I got followers. I couldn't care less.
Yeah. I'm out on the Threads.
Yeah, Threads. It's hanging by a thread.
Yeah, it seems
from what I understand.
it seems like it.
Yeah.
Joey B says, Harry Mert, Netflix, Giselda, good series, only 6 episodes. Sofia Vergara is a badass in the show.
That's the cocaine mom.
Yep.
In Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And
same people that did Narcos.
Right.
Produced the show.
Yes.
I have not watched. I did watch the trailer.
Apparently, Dallin, who's married to David Usikinen, is her father was in that. Like, not her father as a character. He was associated. Apparently, go back and look at this. Like, he was involved in those times down there.
Wow.
And his, he as a character is in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's being portrayed.
Correct.
Wow,
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I think he might have disappeared and nobody found him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'll
watch it.
Yeah,
I'll watch it. I just finished Spy.
Is that
was
the one with
Sacha Baron Cohen?
Baron Cohen. Yeah,
yes.
I watched it. It was great.
It's great.
It was so not what you would expect from him.
Well, yeah, it's a
so
departure role because he's usually a comic.
Serious.
Yeah, this is very serious. He was really good.
I thought he was excellent in that. That was out a while ago, but yeah, I really enjoyed that as well. I thought he was great.
And it's a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's so interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good one to check out for sure. Oh, Kevin says it was Justin Timberlake that pulled out the nip.
Isn't that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wanted to give you your credit there. And Kevin also says, when is the Colonel back on?
Yeah, well, everybody wants
when he gets some internet that works.
Right. Now we're gonna have Ray Koob on here pretty soon.
Yeah. I saw you post that on LinkedIn. Harry.
I reached out to him and I got an email for him now, so he wants to come on.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
great.
So I figured after the football's totally over after this week, we can get him on. But did you see? I don't know if you're paying attention to any of this college basketball. I do.
No.
But locally, we're going to get skunked
again.
In the tournament again. Yeah, Villanova. They lost again last night. They're now 12-11 overall, 5-7 in the Big East for 9th place. And I think there's like 11 teams in that conference. St. Joe, who I really thought had a squad this year that could have gone to the tournament, they can still go, but they got to win their conference tournament, I think, the A-10. I think it's a 2-bid league. They're 15-8, 5-5 in the league. LaSalle, 11-12, 2-8 in the Atlantic 10, dead fucking last.
Jeez.
Penn, 9-12 overall, 1-5 in the Ivy, dead fucking last.
Jeez.
Temple, 8-14 overall, new coach, new regime, 1-8 in the American, dead fucking last. The only team that may have a shot is Drexel.
The Dragons.
The Dragons are 15-8 and 8-2 in their conference. They changed the name of the conference because the term colonial, I guess, is racist. But they're 8-2 in their first place right now in their league. So I think it's a 1-bid league. They'll probably still have to win the conference tournament to get in. But that's really, I think, our only hope. And ironically, Drexel lost to both LaSalle and Temple earlier this season.
Those are not quality losses. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. The Big Five taking it on the chin.
Oh, incredible.
That's insane. Well, the Colonel may be stuck in the Barca lounger then. No Palestra action for the Colonel.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but maybe we could get the Colonel on. Let's try to schedule him for like the March Madness time or conference tournament time, early March.
Well, he's got nothing going on, so I think he can fit
Right.
it in.
Right. But maybe if you reach out to him now, he can make sure that he has an internet capable of handling the show.
He won't. I can assure. I could try and get him to do that. He doesn't know how to do any of that, Harry.
No?
I got to walk him through logging on his iPad, sitting in the lounge chair. It's a nightmare every time we have him. And everybody knows we love him.
Yeah, he's great.
Huge
He's
the
he's
Colonel,
tremendous.
but
Plus, he
Jesus
could talk
Christ,
about any sport. I mean,
this internet with him though is a nightmare.
he's tremendous at any sport, not
Yeah.
just college basketball, which he was famous for covering John Chaney for all those years. But
Is the Big Five any good? I don't know.
but here's the other thing. Now I'm going to end on this. See, I come loaded for these shows.
I do not, Harry.
You do not.
I give the Hockey Minute its full due respect, and that's it.
It's unbelievable.
It is.
You know, the 2026 locally. I saw a tweet. Might have been from the Philly Voice earlier in the week. You know what's going on in 2026 here in Philadelphia? The MLB All-Star Game will be at Citizens Bank Park. Philly will be hosting, yes. The PGA Championship comes to Aronimink Golf Club in Newtown Square.
Played it.
The NCAA tournament will have a first and second rounds at the Wells Fargo Center.
All right.
And the World Cup will have 6 games in Philadelphia.
Let the link.
In June, like late June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, we're going to be the epicenter of sport.
I know.
Can we get a team into the finals that year too? What is it, 2026?
2026.
2 to 3 years away? Yeah, that's the Flyers. They're always 2 to 3 years away.
they're 2 to 3 years away from being 2 to 3 years away.
It's just
Bob,
you're on WIP.
Wouldn't he always say that? They're a year away from being a year away.
Yeah. never had a bad day in my life.
Oh, it's so great.
Such a chalk. We got to get him on.
I love him.
We got to get the Chief on.
Chief.
What's going on, Nitwit? Oh, what a beauty.
Oh, so great.
Let's tell the people about Fudge Kitchen, Harry. Let's get people in the mood in the modality of summer.
Yeah, exactly.
Original.
Tell me about it. It's like 50 today. It's good. I'm good with that. The official sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Odgies podcast, Original Fudge Kitchen down the Jersey Shore. 6 locations: Cape May, Wildwood, Stone Harbor, Ocean City. They make all of their fudge and treats in store, so that guarantees a delicious, fresh product. Stop by and let them know that we sent you. But if you're not able to visit in person, go to their website, fudgekitchens.com. They'll ship it to you.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I do way too much work for this show.
Yeah, I do all the post work though. I do the editing and posting and
editing. What's there to edit?
I trim up the beginning and the end, Harry.
Oh, that's it. I'll tell you what.
I always add a musical intro and a musical outro as well.
Oh, okay.
I can assure you it will not be Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Usually it is the band that we've talked about.
Put a little Toby Keith in there.
I can get some Toby Keith in there.
I mean, let me give you some possible selections. What the hell happened to this?
Can I Google this, Harry?
I can't stand having like multiple windows up all over my computer.
Oh, I have. That's why I have the multiple screens, Harry.
It's a pain in the dick.
All right, Toby Keith's
like
greatest
Red Solo Cup. What's the Cowboy song? I saw him live, by the way. Did you know that?
Right?
Yeah.
No.
I went with back in the early radio days with one of our colleagues before your time there. You were at WIP. Jeff Harbaugh and I went over to Camden.
Not John Harbaugh.
No. Should have been a Cowboy. That's a great one.
Yeah.
As Good As I Once Was is one of my favorites. The lyrics of that are tremendous. How Do You Like Me Now? Beer for My Horses. I Love This Bar. See, this guy spoke to me.
He spoke your language, Harry?
Yes, and Red Solo Cup are some of the best.
All right, let's go to a little further. You hear that?
This should have been a Cowboy.
Settling down, would you marry me? If I
That's great.
Yeah.
High maintenance woman. Let's listen to that.
Oh,
real
that's
quick.
great. Yeah, he's
Is that a
speaking
good
to me
one?
too. Yeah, exactly.
The hell is going on here?
I've never seen the video.
Neither have I. Guy's got the belly hanging out. The whole thing. Look at that guitar. All right, I like this one, Harry, all of a sudden.
See? All of a sudden you're in.
Gotta get her in.
I see you laying by the poolside every day. She ain't got a lot on. She ain't got a lot
Whoa.
to say.
I'll tell you, these country videos deliver.
I'll tell you what. I told you. See what you've been missing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Rock and roll is over. It's country.
It's
Yeah.
country. All right, let's wrap it up there.
All right, your
have a
Super Bowl pick. You like
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
I'm leaning that way too. I just think that they're going to Spags. Oh, Spags.
Spags would be great.
He's going to figure out, because Kansas City's their team is their defense and the quarterback. The defense is great. They're going to figure out a way to stop McCaffrey, and they're going to force Brock Purdy to win the game. And I'm going to bet on number 15 over number 13.
Yeah. Okay.
Mahomes is just so tough.
Yeah. He just at the right time makes the right play.
Yeah.
That makes the difference. So
Yep.
I'm gonna play Kansas City in the game as well. So
Plus
Super Bowl
2.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll recap it next week. And who knows what else we'll talk about next week. We'll figure that out when we get there. So everybody have a great week. We'll talk to you next time on the Odgies podcast.